Hello and welcome to the Smart Docs. I just wanted to do a quick run through and overview of how it works. So this is for the breakthrough coaching sessions. This video that I'm recording right now will be in this spot. So click it, give yourself a walkthrough. We've got the session one here, your home play checklist. So for example, at the start of the breakthrough session, complete your breakthrough session pre-questionnaire, do the first of the home place steps, identify key limiting beliefs, because that's one of the things we were working on further down the line. So you're looking at the I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not capable, etc. And look at your top 3 to 5 so that we can narrow those down and make sure we're focusing on the one that is really going to be pivotal for changing everything when we come to do the timeline therapy session. Also, start working on building the rapport with your inner mind and your brain. Also, make a note of any home plate items we discussed and tick them off as you complete them. And this will be important in terms of the tracking, showing you your own progress, and also letting me know if there are any gaps or anything else that we need to focus on. Got a fun question here in terms of what is your life description movie? So, if you were describing your life, or you might want to think of it in terms of a particular goal or outcome you're going for, what movie would it be and why? Now, this question is designed to get the creative juices flowing, and it's going to be very useful when we come to do the timeline therapy piece where we're putting the goals out into your future timeline. So let your imagination run wild with this one. Maybe imagine that you are the script writer or the director and just see what you come up with there. As we go through, I'll be sharing with you a number of mindset reminders, and these are little mini exercises you can do to help cement the work that we are doing together. So, the first one is around focus on what you want. So, for example, when I'm working with clients who won't want to overcome a fear of, let's say, presentation skills and public speaking, I'll say to them, what do you want? And they'll say, well, I don't want to be nervous and I don't want to be anxious. I'll say, great, what do you want? Well, I don't want palpitations and I don't want sweaty palms. Okay, great, what do you want? Well, I don't want to be like a rabbit in the headlights and I don't want to forget what I'm going to say. And this will go on for a while and until they get to a point of going, well, what is there a right answer? And I say, well, nowhere in that have you answered my question. I've asked you what you want, and you're very clear to tell me what you don't want. Now, the reason that distinction is important is the response they give will have a neurological impact. So, for you to think of not being nervous and anxious, your mind, your brain, your body, your neurology now thinks of being nervous and anxious. And then it goes into a downward spiral. So, I would then say to them, right, I hear you, but if you don't want to be nervous and anxious, what do you want instead? And they'll say, I don't know, relaxed and calm. I'll say, if you don't want palpitations and you don't want sweaty palms, what do you want instead? And they'll say, well, if you don't want to forget what you're going to say and be like the rabbit in the headlights, what do you want instead? Well, I want to be eloquent and remember what I'm going to say and be in flow, etc. Even just to say those words, talk about being nervous, anxious, palpitations, and then talk about being calm, relaxed, in flow, say the words out loud for yourself. Notice how they feel as you speak them out loud. Also, notice how they land with your neurology and your psyche. You'll probably be amazed. You can actually feel the difference. So, that's the mindset reminder piece. We've got here now focus on what you want, feedback and reflection. What I would like you to do is as you go through the coming days and weeks, even months and years, because I'd say this is a lifelong practice, in terms of just using it, and it will become automatic. It's not something you're going to have to constantly keep thinking about, because once you get it anchored into the neurology, it just becomes habitual and your mind will almost do that shift for you. But initially, to get the ball rolling, what I'd like you to do is just note down 2 or 3 instances where you've been aware that you're, in terms of your thinking, you're creating unhelpful results and you changed it. And just write down what was the new thought or the new mental instruction that you gave to yourself. So, for example, if think back to what we were just saying about if you weren't focused on being nervous and anxious, what was the thing you decided to focus on instead? and write that down in the reflection piece, because it will be a good reminder for you as well. And the more that you initially bring this to conscious awareness, the more it then becomes automatic and unconscious. The next section, we've got a fun section here, how to choose your favorite snack. So you've got a little video, it's only 36 seconds, so just take you less than a minute, and then write down what's your favorite snack and why. This is a fun question, very light-hearted, doesn't seem to be related to anything at all. You'd be like, well, we're doing a breakthrough session. Why are you asking me about snacks? But what it's going to start to do is give you some insight into your own decision-making process. And that will be important when we come to look at future strategies. So again, be creative, fill in whatever you want to say, add that into the space here. I'm looking at the back office end, so you won't see all of this stuff and paraphernalia and all the setup when you're logged in. You're going to just see the sheet itself. Now, I've also set up a brainstorming board for you. So you just click the red button. And I think I should, but in a moment, I'm going to check and see if I can click out of this screen. I think I'm recording the whole thing rather than just one screen. So I should be able to click out of this and show you this in a few minutes. What does the board actually look like? This is a great place. It's for brainstorming. I've chosen the priority matrix for this one. And it's also a post-it note board. So let's just say you're planning a project, for example, or a piece of work. You can write something on each of the post-it notes. You can move them around the screen to give them some semblance of order and get your thinking straight. There's also a priority matrix to help you figure out, okay, what do I need to do next? What's the next thing I need to focus on? So you can click on that whenever you need a different way of thinking, getting out of your own head. So that's there for you to use as well. So you click on that. I think you have to accept the invitation to join the board, but it should all be straightforward. And then for this one, at least you're done. Now, I haven't decided if I want to use like just one massive smart document. I think what I'm going to do, because as you'll know, as you're going through this, the breakthrough process, if you're doing it in blocks of, let's say, 2 hours, it's 4 or 5 sessions, depending on how quickly we're working. So what I may do is have a smart doc for each segment. I could, so for example, I've got 5 of these mindset reminders that I want to share with you. So I could just keep adding them under here, or I could create a second one where we focus on the next one I'm going to share. Haven't yet decided yet. I don't want it to be too cluttered, nor do I want you to be clicking here, there, and everywhere. So I'm just really kind of thinking about the best way to flow that. But as you complete these smart documents, what you'll see along the top of your screen, there's going to be a percentage completion. So you can see, have you 100% done all of these things? You've done the home play, you've played with the focus on what you want, you've written your checklist and ticked everything off, you've answered the question about the movie, etc. You'll see the percentage progress. What it means is that you can both track your progress and identify things that you haven't yet completed. And it also helps me in terms of giving you feedback, support, encouragement for any areas where I think, okay, we need to complete that. You haven't done it yet. What's going on? What help or support do you need? And I can also add some of that additional support here. You know, I can add other videos, for example, or a bit more of an explanation in terms of something we've been working on during the session. So that is the smart board. And if you've got any questions, drop me an email, Marilyn at transformationstm.com. Marilyn, Marilyn at trance, TRANCE, F for Freddie. So FORMATIONS, TM as in trademark. So Marilyn at transformationstm.com. You'll already have the email address if you're already doing a breakthrough coaching session, but just get that on video just in case I send this to someone beforehand about how they navigate through. So let's see if I can, hopefully it's going to pick up the recording for this as well. And if not, I'm now just talking and you can't see what I'm talking about. But this is the priority matrix. So you've got your brainstorming bit here. So let's just say you're doing a project and you're going to say, right, there are 3 different divisions and I've got these ideas, and you can just move your post-it notes about, and then you might say, right, and these are the actions we're going to be taking. And on each of these, you can add text. So let's just say it was a project. You might have, you know, milestone 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can move these around. I've also set it up so that you have the priority matrix. So you might be thinking about, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to focus on? What do I need to do first? It's important. What is not urgent but does need to be done? What's not important? Can I delegate it? And actually, is there anything I can eliminate? So you should just be able to click into this board and use it whenever you want, just to help you get your thoughts together. Right, so that's your whistle stop tour through the smart documents. Yeah, if you haven't yet done it, get started on the first one, the focus on what you want. And I'd say use this one for the coming week. And let's just say you've got a week or two between our next session, use it for that time. Every single time you notice your thoughts slipping into a particular direction, flip them over and go, if that's not what I want, what do I want to focus on instead? So start with that as your first exercise if you haven't already done it, and then have a play with the others. And my suggestion is just come in, click stuff, play with stuff, and it should hopefully be self-explanatory. And as I said, this video will be here once I finish recording it. But for now, that is it. Thank you so much for booking a breakthrough session. I look forward to our next session and working together. Marilyn Devonish from transformationstm.com, over and out.